Hello, I'm Burt Green. This is the Casuals Guide to UFC San Antonio, UFC Fight Night. God only knows at this point. Either way, headlined by Corey Sandhagen taking on Marlon Chito Vera. So this, in a nutshell, is a casual, light, fast, funny, informative guide to the entire card. Takes less than 15 minutes. There is information, however small, on every single fighter in every fight on this card, so that you can get the most out of watching this on Saturday night. Yeah, it did stretch my knowledge a little bit, this one, so it's probably going to be a little bit quicker, but we'll see. Anyway, UFC San Antonio Casuals Guide. Here we go. Prelims, we're starting off in the females 135-pound division. Haley Cohen taking on Taimiras Vidal from Brazil. Got 5'8", playing 6'1", 1-inch reach for Vidal. Now, Cohen, she fought in Invicta. She's not really beaten anyone of note, honestly. Split decision in Dana White's Contender Series, and she's still got a contract. That says to me that the 135 division in the female division in the UFC is probably weak as fuck at the moment, and yeah, that's why she's still got that contract. Vidal, she won in the UFC with a flying knee to the body, pretty nice. I'll take Vidal just because she has one big win in the UFC, and we yet to see Cowan really tested there. So Vidal. Victor Altamirano. Victor Altamirano from Mexico taking on Vinicius Salvador from Brazil. 125 division, 5'8", plays 5'7", with a half-inch reach for Salvador. Now, Victor has 2 UFC fights, 1 win, 1 loss, and he's got pretty good hands, to be fair to him. Salvador is his UFC debut. He has 13 knockouts on 14 wins. The man clearly has power. I'm going to take Salvador here just because he's got the power. You don't get 13 knockouts in 14 wins by accident. I know he's not really been tested in the UFC, but you've got to look at that power. I think he probably gets the job done. Manuel Torres taking on Trey Ogden. Manuel Torres, another second Mexican on the card. You've got 5'10", playing 5'11", with a 1.5-inch reach for Torres. Torres El Loco has got 13 wins, 6 knockouts, 6 submissions, 1 decision. Look, he's a finisher. On Dana White's Contender Series, he got the TKO, and he got the TKO in his UFC debut as well, so he's pretty bloody good. Ogden, the Samurai Ghost. Honestly, in his picture, he looks like he's seen a ghost, to be fair. He's a submission specialist. He's largely untested in the UFC, but he is a very good submission guy. I think I'm going to lean towards Ogden in this one, honestly, because Torres has dropped 2 submissions, and Ogden has a wicked guillotine on him, and he's got a lot of submissions on his record. So for that reason, I'm going to go with Ogden. CJ Vergara taking on Daniel Da Silva from Brazil. 5'6", plays 5'6", 2-inch reach for Da Silva. CJ likes to throw that flying knee either to the body or to the head. He's got decent hands, 6 out of 10 wins by knockout. Da Silva, the Brazilian, Mojijo. I have no idea what that means. In Spanish, it's a kind of sauce, so I don't know. Maybe he's called the sauce. No idea. Look, 11 wins, 5 knockouts, 6 submissions. He is a finisher. That is what he is. He's lost all 3 of his UFC fights, though, so maybe he isn't ready for this step up in competition. CJ, I think, has an opportunity to get a win here against Da Silva, who has struggled with the step up in competition, as I mentioned. That was the 125 division, by the way. Kevin Giles taking on Preston Parsons in the 170-pound division. You've got 6 foot, playing 5'11", 3-inch reach for Giles. Now, Giles is a former middleweight. He's currently 1-1 at 170 pounds. He's an all-rounder, really. He's quite big and physical for 170 pounds, as I said, because he's a former middleweight. Preston, the Pressure Parsons, is mainly a grappler. He likes the armbar a lot, in fact. 1-1 in the UFC. Giles has the edge and experience here, and he has fought much better people. He even beat Roman Dolidze, which is a very impressive win in my opinion, so I'm going to take Giles in that one. Steve Peterson taking on Lucas Alexander from Brazil, 145-pound featherweight division. Now, you've got 5'10", playing 5'11", with a 3-inch reach for Alexander. Peterson, he's he's very hit and miss. He's very hit and miss. But when he hits, it's quite spectacular. He did get a great spinning back fist knockout over Martin Bravo. I do remember watching that one, actually. Alexander the Lion, he had one fight in the UFC. He got choked out. Other than that, he has 3 knockouts on the regional circuit. Peterson should get this one. So yeah, I'll take Steven Peterson. We've got Daniel Pineda taking on Tucker Lutz. Again, in the 145 featherweight division. 5'7", playing 5'8", with a 3-inch reach for Lutz. Now, Pineda has 3 no contests in his last 5 fights, rather. 3 no contests in your last 5 fights. That's got to be some kind of record. He beat Burns Jr., Gilbert Burns' younger brother or older brother. Either way, the one that isn't as good. Lost to Cub Swanson. He was a PFL finalist, to be fair. 18 submissions on his record, so it's no secret what he's going for, honestly. Lutz, I only ever think of the guy from 30 Rock when I hear the name Lutz. But either way, nowhere close to that guy. He's in great shape. His nickname is Top Gun. He's 1-1 in the UFC. 50% of his wins are by knockout. It's hard to argue with 18 submissions, though. 18 submissions, and the no contests were because he popped for steroids. So you combine 18 submissions with some chemical help, you get a win. Daniel Pineda should get the submission in this one, and then he probably pisses hot and gets another no contest. Alex Pereira, no, not Alex Pereira, sorry, that's force of habit. Alex Perez against Manel Kape. This is an interesting one. So 125-pound flyweight division, 5'6", playing 5'5", 2.5-inch reach for Kape. Now Perez, he's had a long break after losing to Figueiredo. He then got neck cranks in his first fight back. He seems to get submitted rather a lot. 5 submission losses. He does also like a decision win. He has 12 of them. Kape, he's largely a striker. He's a pretty good striker as well. His timing's very good. Excellent kickboxing. Wonderful flying knee. We saw him get over O'Day Osborne a couple of years ago. So I do feel like Kape's probably going to get the better of this one. He's more than likely a decision. So then we've got the main card. If you could do me a favour, if you enjoy this content, hit subscribe. It helps me out a lot. That's all I'll ask. Main card, Chidi Unjukani taking on Albert Duraev, the Russian. So this is the 185-pound middleweight division. 6'3", plays 5'11", 5-inch reach for Unjukani. Now Unjukani is a very good striker. He's all knees and elbows, honestly. His Muay Thai is excellent. He covers a lot of distance with his strikes. He's 14 of 22 wins by knockout. The guy is a beast, honestly. Duraev, the Machete, is a Russian sambo player. He's really good at grappling. He's got excellent grappling. He's got a really nice neck crank in the Dana White Contender Series, so you know that he's got a good squeeze. I kind of like the Machete here because I think if he takes the path of least resistance, a takedown followed by a choke, that's his path to victory. Not counting out Njoukani though, because the man is a beast. I've got no confidence in that pick, but for some reason I just like Machete's style against Njoukani's. Andrea KJB Lee taking on Macy Barber in the women's 125 division. 5'6", plays 5'5", 4.5-inch reach for Lee. That's telling. Now KJB Lee, she's a very strong kickboxer. Very, very strong. Underrated grappling as well. She's got a brown belt in judo, a brown belt in Brazilian jiu-jitsu under Harrelson Gracie. She did triangle Antonia Shevchenko. She's very good all-rounder. Plus, she wears a cowboy hat. So I'm a fan. I am a fan of Andrea KJB Lee. Not to say I'm not a fan of Macy Barber, because she is absolutely fantastic. She is just game. She's just very hard to put away, and she's just tough all round. And she's on a 3-fight win streak as well, so she has got that momentum. For me, I do think that Lee is probably better in every area, but you cannot ever count Macy Barber out of a fight. You just can't. She's got a knack for winning. I'm going to take Lee in this one with absolutely no confidence whatsoever. Either way, it's going to be a really fun fight. It's one that I'm super looking forward to. Andrea Lee against Macy Barber. Make sure you catch that one. Alex Caceres taking on Nate Landwehr. Now, this is a 145-pound featherweight division, 5'9", plays 5'9", with a 1.5-inch reach for Caceres. Caceres has been around for a while. He was on the Ultimate Fighter, Team GSP versus Team Koscheck, if you can believe that. That's how long ago that was. Good lord, starting to feel old as shit. Anyway, he has been good enough to still be in the UFC after all this time. He's won 6 of his last 7. His record's actually pretty good. He's got Great striking. It's wild, it's flashy, but it works. He's got some nice submissions as well. He'll snatch up an armbar. He's very, very proficient in every area. He's turned into a very good, very well-rounded fighter. Landwehr is a former M1 featherweight champ. He's got very good striking. 50% of his wins come by way of knockout, his hands in particular. I'm done betting against Caceres. I'm taking Caceres by submission in this one, just because I keep picking against him, and you know what? He is so much better than he gets given credit for. So I'm taking Caceres in that one. Then you've got the co-main event, Holly Holm taking on Yana Santos, former Kunitskaya. That's why you recognise her. You recognise her, you don't recognise the name. That's because she got married to Thiago Santos, just FYI. So anyway, 5'8", plays 5'6", with a half-inch reach for Holly Holm. Now, Holly Holm, she's still going at the age of 41. She's a legendary fighter. That kick on Ronda Rousey will always go down in history. She has been chasing that belt again since losing to Miesha Tate. She's not managed to quite get there. She's got very good, but she had a great boxing career before she even got into MMA. Her stand-up is elite. Her footwork is fantastic. Her high kicks are absolutely stunning. She's got some good wrestling as well. We saw that against Megan Anderson. She's got a great fight IQ. She will fight the fight that best plays to her abilities, but also negates her opponents. Very important quality to have that. Now, Yana Santos, she's had a break. Obviously, she had a son with Thiago Santos. Congratulations to you both. Fantastic news. Anyway, her record is patchy. It really is. She's pretty good everywhere. She's got decent hands, but she hasn't got any knockouts in the UFC so far. So I'm wondering if her power has translated off the regional circuit into the big leagues, as it were. Now, level of competition-wise, this is a no contest. Holly Holm has been fighting the very best for a long time. Santos has just not quite gotten to that rank of competition yet. Now, the only thing here is that Holm is 41. Now, at what point does that catch up with her? It's got to at some point. If it hasn't yet, it's Holm by decision. That's the most likely outcome. If the age hasn't caught up with her yet. The main event of the evening, Marlon Chito Vera taking on Corey Sandhagen. This is a really exciting one. 5'8", plus 5'11", with a half-inch reach for Chito Vera. Marlon Vera has been making waves at 135 pounds. He's taken out some of the absolute best in the division. Some of the older guys as well that didn't really belong there anymore. Still, stopping Dominic Cruz is very impressive. That high kick was fantastic. He's got really nice kickboxing. He's very patient. He waits for the openings. He's got nice submissions as well, so it's kind of pick your poison with Chito Vera. 4-fight win streak. He's got momentum. He's got dangerous strikes. He's got good submissions. He's a real problem in that division. Corey Sandhagen, the Sandman, I think they call him, and that's for good reason. He is one of the dark horses in that division. He's highly touted by a lot of people. He's a dangerous striker. He slipped up against Aldo, and then he got 2 good wins over, TJ and Aldo. He got some good wins. And then, he bounced back against, his last one was against Song Yadong. But he lost to TJ and to Peter Yan. There's no shame in either of those, really. And the TJ fight was a bit of an iffy decision. So I can't hold that against him. But the quality's there. He's very, very good. Very, very competent. I think Vera might take this one, though, honestly. I think he's got the momentum. He's had the last few fights. You can see mentally that Chito Vera is in a very good place, and a lot of it is mental. Sandhagen's looked very frustrated in his last few fights. Even against Song Yadong, he had this kind of weird, kind of frustrated energy. I don't think that TJ decision sat well with him. He knew that he had a couple of losses. He'd lost a bit of momentum. I don't know if that's kind of gotten into his head a bit, but Chito he looks calm, collective. I think that's going to really play into his advantage this weekend. So I'm going to take Chito Vera in that one. So I'm going to put that on as an accumulator. I have no idea what the odds are going to be. Long, I'd imagine. But that's what I like to do. It's my MMA scratch card. And let me know what your MMA scratch cards are in the comment, because I like hearing about it. I like hearing about people's bets, and I like seeing, especially if they come off. If you've got some good betting stories, please let me know in the comments. I'll share them on next week's show. And we'll recap this whole event and have a look at how many I got right, how many I got wrong. But until next time, as always, keep those odds long and those bets terrible.